are you?
I'm good. Are you going to introduce us?
You go. You always say that. You just introduce us.
Knit One Sip Two. We are a knitting vlog. Haven't done in months.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
I'm Jeanette.
Oh yeah, you are Jeanette, aren't you? I'm Joan. What episode do you think we're on?
No idea. And I'm Nettie Keys on Ravelry and Instagram. My Instagram is private. If you follow me and you have something knitting in your description, then I will follow you back. If you don't have the knitting in the description, I probably won't follow you back. But we would love to have you. Thank you for joining us. If you hung with us through our 5 or 6 month sabbatical. Sabbatical. We really appreciate each and every one of you, and we appreciate you hanging in there with us. If you did, thank you.
Yes. You know what? There's a few people that I have to apologize to on Ravelry who messaged me or posted in our groups. That was it. They posted in the groups and they're like, "We missed you. Where are you?" I was like, "Oh, we just videotaped. We're gonna post next week." And then that posting kind of got lost in production. So
that's like the lost episode, and that was what, November? Yeah, I think it was in November-ish, and that was the right. Our editor can insert a few pictures of whatever we talked about.
All I remember talking about was socks.
Yeah, I'm always talking about socks, but
yeah. No, but I was talking about socks, which is a completely different thing, but I'm going to cover it again today.
Sure. And for any of you who have been affected physically by COVID or your families, my heart goes out to you. I know Jones does as well. It's been a really difficult year for everyone, and particularly those who have had a loved one get COVID. So knock on real good. The nation will come soon, and our county in California has been basically locked down since March. I had one pedicure when there was like a window when you could go to the salon, but other than that, nothing.
Oh, I got a couple in because there were salons up in like June, and then I think they locked it down again, or maybe it was July or something, and then they locked it down again. Wasn't it like before Thanksgiving or something?
Well, it was open in June, then it locked down, then it reopened, then it locked down.
Right. Oh, that's right. There was that closing in between. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So there were a few windows where we could get haircuts or pedicures or something like that. Right. But I got a haircut when the last window of opportunity was. But other than that, it's. And then retail right now is supposed to be at 20% capacity, but our county is still not doing great, and California is not doing great. So I'm not sure what happened, but the world's a little bit of a mess. And well, the United States is a little bit of a mess, and so we won't even go there.
Right.
But we have our knitting.
Yes, this is what my favorite saying of COVID. Well, one of them was in the very beginning. It was like, knitters, we've been training for this. So, it gives us the opportunity to hopefully, how many times have we all said, I wish I had time to, fill in the blank, clean out the closet, perfect a skill, learn something, spend with the kids, blah, 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 blah. Well, I hope everybody's taking the opportunity to do that now. And if you haven't, then do it before we open up again.
My husband yesterday, wow, you'd think after all this time at home, my closet would be super clean and neat and tidy, and I would be 20 pounds lighter. But I don't think it exactly worked that way for me. So there's always knitting. So
it's true. So, okay. And also real quick, I am Units, YUKNITS on Ravelry, and I'm Knit One Sip Two on Instagram. So feel free to reach out. We'd love to hear from you. So anyway, and that's also my personal account. So I tend to post a couple things about the kids. So just ignore them if you're not interested. By the way, Cece went back to school. I don't remember if I told you.
Yeah, I saw
Started
that.
up
That's
school. Yep, Monday they're doing small cohorts, and I think she didn't realize how happy she would be. Like, just coming home every day, it's like this stress has kind of been relieved. Um, she went into it thinking, well, I may stop because this is kind of it takes up more time to get to school, and I can't sleep in when I don't have a class, and I can't run downstairs and get a snack and blah, blah, blah. I think that she kind of was, wondering if she was going to like it. And I think she was won over in the first 15 minutes. So,
good.
yeah. So the school's doing a great job. So anyway, okay. So what are we talking about? Where we start?
Well, we could talk about 2020 first and then
Okay.
go into now.
Or 2000, like I was saying.
2020, I knitted, I think, more than I usually do.
I think I did too.
More sweaters. So
I wonder why.
Yeah. So I have a couple of sweaters that I knitted that I really, really like. For the majority of them, they were summery, and the majority I really liked, and I have continued to wear. And the wintry ones I've worn. I finished my crochet blanket, which was a big deal.
Right.
That one, the squares, and that was a big deal. So my overall favorite project of 2020 is probably my it's not No Frills. Oh, I've already forgotten the name. What is wrong with me?
Oh my gosh, and you always remember names. Uh-oh. Jeanette, you never forget names.
Bring it out. I know. I don't know.
Want me to go first?
Yeah, it's by Amy Christophers. It's the blah blah. You knit the cardigan version.
Oh. Well, I never remember names. I know exactly what. Oh, Felix.
That's probably my favorite currently, because I've been, when it's today happens to be in the 70s, but this, when it's cold, it is so warm. Like, I love it. I knitted out of Aran Waite blue faced Leicester that I'd had in my stash for a really long time from West Yorkshire Spinners. And then I held it double with Rowan Kidsell case. So I wear it a lot, and I like it a lot. And so that is my favorite. Probably.
Well, that's funny, because I brought the cardigan version as probably one of my least favorites. Although I realize that it's not my absolute least favorite. My absolute least favorite was the summer sweater that I knit. Don't ask me the name. I have to look it up.
Oh, that was the super simple summer.
No. The one that I knit out of the yarn from Wool & Company. Was it Cascade?
Oh, the one that you had trouble with.
The blue one, yes.
Yeah.
It just, I think it just wasn't the right shape for me or something. I just feel very big in it, or maybe I knit too big of a size or whatever, but that's probably my least favorite. And my other thing, and I kind of knew this about the Felix going in, is that I just don't, on me, the cardigans that, are this shape with the round neck and then the straight button band, whatever, they flop around up here. It's a really good, like, run to the farmer's market kind of throw on and keep you nice and warm type of cardigan. And I love the yarn. Three Irish Girls bought it at Stitches. What was the name of it? Blue Bayou?
Yeah. Stitches Midwest.
Yeah, no, Stitches West. Remember, I kept looking at it. You pointed it out. They were at the end of the Stitches Midwest. I bought the Love Note.
Oh, that's right. We saw it at Stitches West.
I saw Stitches West, and I kept looking at it and looking at it and looking at it. It's a beautiful color. And then after I bought it, I don't think I bought enough yarn. So it just, anyway, I love the yarn, but I'm not thrilled with the sweater, but I will wear it.
Something else.
Yeah.
Another vein and make the pullover version.
I could. I have a couple projects like that that I want to do, that I want to frog. So it's like, but anyways. Okay, so what's your least favorite?
My least favorite is probably this Anchor sweater by Petite Knit.
Really?
It's got fold marks. I think it's the color. I think it's a fine color on me. It just, when I'm wearing it, it makes me feel blah. Even though like people, like when I posted the picture, it said like, that's a great color. It's just, you know how you have color preference. And
I do. That color, it's too bad you can't take this part out and do a color work.
Yeah, it's super soft yarn. Like I think it's a cotton wool blend, DK8. It's really nice yarn and it fits me and everything. It's just, and I've worn it. It's just not my favorite.
Not your favorite. Right.
I mean, overall, I'm pretty happy with what I knit. So
you always are. No, but I mean, like,
more
you're much more satisfied with your knits than I am with mine. I'm always very hypercritical about, like, the neck doesn't fit, or the sling doesn't,
Yeah, and this sweater I'm wearing, like, it's pretty big. If I were to knit it again, I might knit a smaller size. I love the sweater, but you can see it. I mean, but it's fine. I usually wear it with a tank top underneath.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah. It's super comfy. I usually wear it, like I said, with a tank top, but I was cold when I got dressed. Now I'm warm. But yeah, I mean, I wish it would, maybe I should have made it shorter, but you learn.
Right. But you just gotta, I'm trying to learn to embrace it.
Yeah.
So my favorite was the Sugar Plum. It was my first color work. Outside of knitting Anne Norling's Strawberry Hat. So, and it was not hard. I have to say, I'm surprised more people haven't knit this pattern.
Beautiful.
I'm so happy with it. It looks great with a turtleneck underneath. I can wear it without a turtleneck. It's comfortable. I mean, I just love it. And the yarn is Western Sky Knits. And it's interesting because the top it's all the same yarn, but the top seems to have a bit more of a halo than the body, which I actually really kind of like. So, I mean, you can't see it so much on the computer, and gosh, it looks broad, but I just love it. I really enjoy wearing it. And how appropriate is it that it's called Sugar Plum?
Yeah.
So that's my favorite. So,
yeah, I remember out that yarn with you at Stitches, and ago I would have been counting down the days until we could go to Stitches West. How many we went, I don't know, 10 years in a row or something crazy.
At least. It's just, I know, and I'm really committed to, in February, buying some yarn from the indie dyers that we usually buy yarn from. I really want to. I feel bad because they've missed so much business, and so I really want to try to buy. Like I may not be able to, exercise the same budget that I normally do, but I want to support some of those indie dyers this month, or in February, in the name of Stitches West. So, because I miss them.
Yeah.
And you and I should like social distance in the backyard and knit.
Yeah, we can.
We can. So.
Yeah, I cannot buy yarn because I don't have a job. I need to knit some of the things that I have plenty of yarn. So, that is an issue. So as much as I'd like to support them, I can't right now.
Right.
Be wise, but that's fine. Another time. I've supported them previous years, and
I'll support them for you.
There you go. So what about gift knitting? I know you did a fair amount, and I did more than usual.
I did quite a lot of gift knitting. Well, before we do gift knitting, let me show this because I might have to take it off because I might get hot. So this is, wait, don't tell me, no frills. And I love it. The pattern was, I've been really wanting to do a lot of simple knitting. Like the most the most detail I want to do is color work. And even that, it can't be, you know, I like color work yokes because the color work is over and then you get to this part. So, you know, that's like the most I want to get into these days. I just really want to sit and relax and straight knit. And that being said, the no frills was perfect for that. I think this is also the fastest I've knit a sweater because I want to say I cast on right before Christmas because I just finished all of my gift knitting, which I will get to. But anyway, so I love this yarn. It's the Loop Fiber Studios Yin Yang. That's the label. We saw it for the first time at Stitches West last year, and I had spent my budget and I was like, because I wanted some so badly. And then Warren and the girls bought me some for Mother's Day, and then which I have earmarked for another project, a cardigan. And then I just got in the mood for something warm and cuddly, and I really liked the black and white speckle. This colorway is called, I think this is Yin. Yeah, this is Yin. The Yang is predominantly like a white, but not a white, like a gray white with the black speckle. So what she does is she'll reverse the colors. So she'll have one that's red with pink, and then she'll have one that's pink with red. And you'll see a lot of people have done the super simple summer sweater out of it because they're striping with the different yin and yang colors. But I like the fact that I know a lot of people are doing the marl, and what they're doing is they're adding another yarn to a solid color, and that's how they're getting the marl. This one does it for you. And this is what the yarn looks like. And so anyway, just love it. It's a little itchier because you know how sensitive I am. It's a little itchier than I would like. But it's warm and snuggly. I think I'm gonna take the sleeves back a little bit because they're a little tighter than I would like. I kind of wanted something that's a little bit roomier. So I'm just gonna take them back a little bit and not decrease as much. But I like the neck. I like the shoulder shaping, which is, you know, typical top down. That's what it looks like. So I'm really happy with it. I really am. And the yarn was great. And I think the gal's name is Stephanie at Loop. She's lovely. She's on Etsy. I got the yarn fairly quickly. I didn't have to wait for them to dye it or anything. So anyway, really happy with it. So
yeah, great.
Thank you. So, all right, tell me what gift, do you have pictures of your gift knitting?
I do. I can insert them. And they're also on Ravelry. I did 3 morning walk hats for my adult children and significant other of my, or fiance of my daughter, my daughter's fiance. That was really hard to say.
Oh, by the way, your daughter has a fiance.
That's
you
right.
Told anybody that?
Yeah. So let's see. My daughter's fiance's was navy and white, and so the thing about this pattern is it's by Ann Patterson on Art Knitting, and it's a simple 1x1 ribbed hat, but it uses Woolfolk yarn, the one that's marled and the one that's not. So his turned out like a navy and white. Hers was like mustard and white, which I actually have her yarn right here. It's a long story, but I have 2. So this is what it was like. So his, I did navy and white, and then hers was this combination, and my son's was maroon and black. So they all liked them. I knit a Bankhead hat, which is a free pattern, but I made a mistake, and so I called it the Bankhead-ish hat. I just spaced and did something different, but somebody asked me to knit them a hat with a ponytail space or a messy bun space, so I did that. I knit my sister a pair of shorty socks from the Get Shorty pattern. what is their podcast? 3Ply podcast. I think it's three ladies in the Chicago area. I remember we got a business card from one of the places we went to at Chicago, at Stitches Midwest. We went to one of the yarn shops and they gave us a business card of this podcast. Anyway, as a pattern, get Shorty. The only thing I followed in the whole pattern was the heel because it was a different type of heel. And so I knit those for my sister. Don't know if she likes them. Don't know if they fit. Haven't really heard. But it's her birthday, and so I sent her those.
Your sister?
My fourth sister.
Where is she? Wait, which one is she? I
She's
don't know
in,
my number. I know my reputation.
she's in Dayton area.
Okay. I know which one that is.
Yeah. So I think that was all the gift knitting I did. Oh, and then I knit my husband a pair of socks for his birthday, which is December 22nd, but I'll show those in my whips because they aren't done.
Oh, there you go. What color are they?
They're rainbow. I was knitting from, I'll show you.
Show them.
I might as well show them now. I've never knit him socks with an afterthought heel before, but I'm doing an afterthought heel because this is the stripe pattern.
Right. Oh, have you done it on the machine?
No.
Oh.
He doesn't have the machine up and running yet. So he needs to get a part from the welder, he told me. But so I just knit these tubes with and this is lollipop yarn in the Yesterday colorway, which I've had for a long time, actually. It's really cool.
Are those long enough, Jeanette?
Well, they actually aren't.
They're not.
They're
I guess
full.
without the heel, the heel, they look really long.
Yeah, they actually, I don't think will be that long once you put the heel in there. They're maybe a little long, but he likes them long. So I just basically knit two matching socks. I used as much as the skein as I could, and then it came with the gray mini. I knit these one at a time, which I don't prefer because it's a gobstopper. You know, that's how she sends it. So I love her yarn, but I just don't prefer doing them one at a time.
Right. It's too bad she doesn't do two small gobstoppers.
Yeah, but it's one gobstopper. So if he didn't want the match, or if I didn't want the match, then I wouldn't have, then I could have just done it. But I figured he'd want the matching. So I'm going to do the heels maybe tomorrow or later today. I just have to measure his foot and make sure I get it in the right spot. And we'll see if he even likes the afterthought heel. I don't know. But he wears all of his socks. He loves all of his hand knit socks. So,
yeah, he's good that way.
Yeah. So yeah, that's all the gift knitting I did. So for his birthday, I out a quarter or a third of the first sock done. And so on the needles, I wrapped that up and put it in a box.
Okay. My mom used to do that. She'd wrap up the fabric for whatever, outfit it was going to be. If she didn't have time for it, she'd wrap up the fabric. And that's, there's value to that.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah.
All right. Well, my turn gift knitting. Okay. So it's official. Joe now understands how to construct a sock out of big yarn. So I could probably do one out of little yarn, like fingering weight, conventional sock yarn, but I think it might drive me a little crazy. So I like the slipper sock because it's quick, it's easy, it's not, I feel like I'm accomplishing something. So anyway, my sister, GTS, she does a beautiful job of embroidering a lovely Christmas ornament. As a matter of fact, I have one here. Every year, I couldn't bring myself to put this away with the Christmas ornaments. She made this for me in 2018.
That's gorgeous.
And then when she has it finished, she has the date and everything put on the back. She does a beautiful job. And she has themes of, like, mine are ocean and fish, and I have a crab, and this year she made me a Santa Claus that's knitting. It's adorable. I should have kept it out and I didn't. But anyway, so she does this for every single member of her family. So I kind of felt like I was slacking because I wasn't knitting for gifts. So back when COVID hit this summer, I decided it was too warm to knit a big project. So I started knitting slipper socks for everybody. So these are the slipper socks. Excuse me. These are the slipper socks. And Gary's going to insert a better picture somewhere around here. But from left to right, I did the Soul Warming socks by Olga Patano. These two are a free pattern, the green and the red, so 2 and 3, are a free pattern called Jingle All the Way by Jo Lynn Cooper. And those two I'll talk about in a second. Then this one, these two are elementary slipper socks by Courtney Kane. So these 4 were free. I don't remember if that's a free pattern too. So this one, I lost it. Okay, well, that's it for now. So when Gary inserts the picture, you'll see that the gray one has got fish that go all the way around it. So I got that off of Ravelry, and that fish chart was by Sandra Yeager. And then I put a little red hat with a white pom-pom on top of just one of the fish. And then the purple one is also the elementary slipper sock that I made for my brother-in-law, who's a big Vikings fan. And I ended up embroidering. I tried to put the Viking on there, but the socks kept getting too tight. So I'm committed to one of these days learning how to do colorwork socks so they don't get too tight. Instead, I did your suggestion and I put skull on them, embroidered skull. So he likes those. The Jingle All the Way socks, what I did is I used the cuff pattern for those. And here I can show you because Cecilia gave me hers. And the white has actually kind of turned a little pink because I washed them with a whole bunch of red socks. But I got this yarn. It's from Hobby Lobby. It's just a regular old fluffy yarn that is all polyester, and you know, it's their brand. And then this is what is this, Cascade? I'm attached. Yeah, this is the Cascade Pacific. And that's what I used for most of the socks. So for the ones that look like elf socks, I used the Jingle All the Way cuff pattern. And then in the photo, you'll see they also come to a point. So I used her toe pattern. And then in between, I used the elementary slipper sock pattern. And then on the ones in the other photo, I put Jingle Bells on them. So that was fun. So that was fun. And then I knit all my girls a variation like this. So everybody got, I'm sorry?
All that in Ravelry on your Ravelry page?
No, but it will be. I hope to do it soon. So yeah, so there's that. And then the last one that I did is for my nephew's fiance. It's called the Yours and Mine Cabin Socks by Alora B Design. And those were really cute. And her pattern gives you kind of like a yin and yang. And it's got like, I don't know, you'll be able to see it better when Gary puts the photo in. But it gives you a his and her version of the sock to knit. And they're just a little different. Actually, no, wait, I made these. Who did I make these for? No, these I made for my boss. I was originally going to give them to my nephew's fiance, but then I thought it'd be cuter if they had the elf socks. So I gave those to my boss. So anyway, so that was all my gift knitting. And then the only other thing is that Macy brought these to me like literally the day before she was leaving, saying, "Mom, can you fix them?" And these are the very first pair of slipper socks I ever made. And she has worn the heck out of them. She wears them with her Birkenstocks tuned from the dance studio. And they got so thin that I just told her I'd make her another pair. And I'm kicking myself now because I wish I was more like you, Jeanette, because of course I didn't put them on Ravelry. I didn't write down the name of the yarn. So I had to like dig up the yarn, and of course I don't have enough. So I knit one whole sock, and then I ran out of yarn on the second sock. So I did the heel a different color. So now I've got to take this sock apart to get to the toe to then, anyway. So I need a pair of socks for her, but she really liked this color. So that's why I'm jumping through hoops with it. So anyway.
What yarn is that?
I don't know. I wish I knew. It was, you and I bought it 2 stitches ago. So that would be 3 years ago. It was like one of the last things I bought because Macy had said she wanted.
Did you buy it at Stunning String Studio, or is that?
I don't know. It's not a indie dyer. It's a manufacturing yarn, you know, like, but it's not Cascade. It's not. It's. I mean, it's a great workhorse yarn, but it was like one of those larger manufacturers that was soft and it was the right color, so I bought it. And now I'm kicking myself for not putting it in Ravelry.
Yeah, I can't remember if I don't put it in Ravelry. And then even then sometimes I think, wait, what bind off did I use? Like you asked me and I was like, I think it's on my Ravelry page. Nope.
We didn't talk about that. We need to talk about that, because that was awesome. Because look I have an example. Okay, so I'm going to start. So I bound off the sleeve and I used like a stretchy bind off. It was when you knit one and then you knit 2 together, and then the next one is a purl. So you purl one and then you knit that one together with the other one, like you knit, you do 2 actions on each stitch. So you knit it, then you purl it together or knit it together with the stitch before.
And I forget.
Purl the next one. Yeah, it was in a YouTube video. But the problem is that it does this, it just doesn't look nice. I mean, okay, granted, I haven't finished sewing in the ends, but compare that one, it like looks all flary and stuff, to this one. Look at how lovely. So this one is the one that you recommended. Do you remember the name of it?
Lori's Twisty Bind Off.
And it's brilliant. God bless that woman for figuring it out.
Yeah.
So if you want a bind off, I mean, and I used it on this hem too, so it's, I mean, it lays really nicely. It laid nicer if the tummy wasn't sticking out. But it lays nicely.
Yeah.
I'm so happy with it. So happy.
I've used it on the last few sweaters that I've made, where I cast off on the ribbing.
Right.
Yeah. I'm glad you asked me, because I thought I had that in one of my Ravelry pages. And so I would have been looking for it, because, doing all the gift knitting, I put the sweater aside. And so then I would have been like, what bind off did I use again?
Right. So. Well, and it doesn't pop up easily. Like if you type into Google or YouTube stretchy cast off or stretchy bind off, it doesn't, it's not like it's one of the top 3 or 4 or even 5 things that pops up. So this was just a rare find, and everybody needs to use it. It's not fiddly. I mean, like, because I was looking at the tubular cast off and I was like, or bind off. When I'm getting to bind off, I'm done. I want to be done. I don't want to be sitting there messing around. Or if I'm going to mess around, it needs to be something I have to like accept as part of the whole pattern, and why don't pattern writers answer me this question? If you know the answer, why is it that they don't include links to their favorite bind offs for that particular sweater?
Yeah, I know they often don't recommend what kind of cast on, unless it's tubular.
Yes, yeah, unless it's tubular.
I've done tubular bind off, but I've never done tubular cast on. I was gonna do it in the morning walk hats, and I didn't have the brain space, so I did German twisted cast on. Which yesterday I went to do the long tail cast on, and I do the German twisted so much that I couldn't remember. Like,
oh my gosh,
how do I do long tail again?
Same exact thing. I did the same exact thing on a swatch, and I was like, wait.
Is it really just that easy?
100%, yes. And then it really does give you a difference, that extra twist. But I did the same exact thing when I was swatching the other day, and I was like, maybe I shouldn't have a twisty or a stretchy cast on for a swatch. I wasn't sure if it would hinder my ability to count or what. And then I had to think all over again how to bind or how to cast on. So anyway.
Yeah. I knit a couple of pairs of socks in the last little bit too, for myself, because I don't know why I keep knitting myself socks, but I don't even need them. These were my fall socks. I always knit myself a pair of autumn socks.
Cute. You'll need them as soon as the first pair that you knit a few years ago start to get holes in them.
Yeah. And so, but I'm not going anywhere right now. As soon as I start going someplace, maybe I'll wear them, because I wear short socks around the house, but these, I don't think I used a pattern, and these were also lollipop yarn, so I had to knit them one at a time. And I think I knit them cuff down, which I don't usually, but I think I did. I don't know why. And then these were my holiday socks. And this was lollipop yarn. I think it's on my Ravelry page. I forget what kind of what the colorway was. And these were my holiday socks, which I always knit a pair of holiday socks. And this is the Artistic Lily in the vintage Christmas colorway that I purchased a few years ago, and I had that in my stash. And this little mini is Lolo Did It Amazed. And I think I knit these toe up. Go figure.
Okay.
And then I knit myself a pair of short socks. I haven't even worn these yet, but out of the leftover fall yarn. This is a Lolo Did It mini. I think it's in the Fame colorway. It's on my project page. And I did a new way to do a heel, just a simple gusset heel I read in a pattern. I'll show you the pattern in a minute, or tell you about the pattern in a minute. But yeah, just shorties. I wear those around the house or with tennis shoes. Like right now, I have to run an errand, go to Target and do my pickup. I ordered online and I just have to pick it up. And so I have short socks on with tennis shoes, to run to Target because it's warm today. But yeah, I knit those all in the last little bit too. So that's all my done knitting.
Good. Yeah, I don't think I have anything else done. Everything else is in progress.
Want to start your in progress?
Yeah, I can start my in progress. I showed the in progress of the sock that I've got to finish. So that's one in progress. Then which bag did I put it in? There we go. So I don't know if this is considered in progress, but I just started swatching. I bought was it last summer? 2 summers ago. I bought some Plucky Primo Sport because I don't know why, but I tend to not knit that much in the summer. I think that's normal, but it's not normal for Monterey because it's not like it's hot here. I think it's just because I'm busy with the kids. Last summer was like the first summer I really I knit a lot more, and at that it was socks, and I knit that one sweater. So I started swatching for this, and I ordered this yarn to knit a summer sweater, but it's the Plucky Primo Fingering.
I thought you said sport.
Yeah, I think I thought it was sport. It's actually fingering, which is making me a little crazy. It's the Bohemian Blue, which do you remember that was it called Nightshades? Remember that
Mhm.
yarn they had it at Yoth, but it wasn't Yoth.
Yes.
This reminds me of that because it's kind of washed. It's got like a black wash to it.
Yeah, I love that. It's
So
beautiful.
it's really pretty. I don't know what made me think about ordering it in the summertime because it's not really a summer color. But the idea was is that I wanted something that was kind of lightweight. Um,
It's beautiful.
and I mean, I think that it's going to be pretty, and I think it'll. I mean, over a white button down, it'll be fine. So anyway, so I started swatching this, and I'm trying to decide if I want to do I think it's pronounced Niamh, Niamh. Neve by Andrea, no, excuse me, Isabel Kramer. Or the original design or the original sweater that I bought this for was Coco by Eri Shimizu. Shimizu Coco. Which is a crew neck. And now I'm thinking it could also be a V-neck because it could be holiday by the same by Eri Shimizu. So anyway, so I'm knitting it on a 3. Oh, my brand new 3. These were gift. Brand new size 3s from Signature Needles. They just came out with a 3. That's a, you know what I mean. Like on the cable, the detachable,
Interchangeable.
interchangeable. That's it. God, senior moment.
Do they swivel?
um, these do not swivel on the cable. These swivel. I don't know why. Gosh, that's a good point. These swivel on the cable. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But for some reason, these 3s don't swivel. And I have to say, I need to call them because I don't know if maybe they can send me another mechanism or cable or something. Excuse me, but these do not seem to travel up and down the yarn as easily as like these are my 7. What are these? These are my 5s. And these are like smooth as butter. These are fabulous. They do not catch on the yarn at all. I really enjoy knitting with their needles. I know they're not your favorites, but I enjoy the connection on these a lot more than on my other ones, my wooden ones, which I can't remember who they're by. You probably remember.
I think you have Knitter's Pride Dreams,
Yes.
right?
See, that's why I keep you around. Jeanette's back. So anyway, yes, I've got the Knitter's Pride jeans, and I don't like their connection, although I just have always loved the fact that they're interchangeable. I really like the signature signature connection a lot more. So anyway, so I also learned from doing this sweater, one of the things that I'm not good at is swatching in the round. Even though all the sweaters that I'm doing are in the round, I always forget. I just don't swatch in the round. So when I swatched for this one, which was the hardest gauge to take because of the white and the black, oh my gosh, hardest gauge to take. But anyway, so what I discovered was I'm a much tighter knitter when I knit in the round than when I swatch and knit and purl. So I'm actually leveraging that information because this is kind of loose and I was thinking I'd need to drop down to a 2, but no, I'm not gonna because I'm gonna knit tighter anyway when I knit in the round. So all I need to do is decide which sweater pattern I'm gonna knit. So if anybody has any input, feel free to leave a message. If you've done Neve or Coco or Holiday, let me know. Tell me what you think. So yeah, so that's one thing that's in the works. How about you? You next.
Beautiful. Well, I mean, this is hardly in the works because I haven't picked it up since November, but I need to get back to it.
Oh yeah.
This is the Cipolla sweater by Caitlin Hunter, and I dyed the yarn myself, which was kind of my first foray into dyeing. It's very dark blue,
So
blue with black, and then this color was just a happy accident, and I saw them together and I went, oh, that's kind of cool together. So originally I was just going to knit a fingering weight sweater out of this, all one color, but then I see it has a little snag there already, but then I liked the colors together, so I thought, okay, so you can see that I'm on a sleeve, and then I stopped and I started doing holiday knitting, gift knitting, and so there it sat, and I haven't picked it back up.
I'm gonna make a request.
Yes.
Maybe you could take a picture of it outside in the sun, because it's really not translating as blue.
Yeah, it barely does in person. Wow. And that's actually what I wanted.
Oh, you can kind of see a little bit of the blue. Yeah.
I actually wanted this very, 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 very dark.
Like the nightshade.
Black. Yeah. Oh, that's a bad stitch. Anyway, so I need to get back to that. But yesterday I started another sweater and a pair of socks because that's what I wanted to do.
Oh, well, there you go. Well, what sweater did you start?
I started the City Limits sweater by Tanis Lavallee. It's one that fades. You hold 2 weights of fingering with, you could, it's worsted weight gauge, and you can hold 2 weights of fingering with mohair together and fade it. So I was gonna do this like last year in like pinks and reds, but I realized that
City Limits?
Yeah, City Limits. Yeah.
Okay. Sorry.
So do you remember I started crocheting a big, huge Afghan that was mostly green?
Yes.
Okay, yes. So I frogged that.
Why?
It took me so long to frog.
Is that the one?
Yeah, that's it. So it took me so long to frog because a lot of times I had worked mohair in there and it was too fingering, and then I do a little bit of fingering and I cut that one or weave that one in and then add some mohair and then weave that in. And
you know what I've heard that you could do with mohair though when you want to frog it?
Put it in the freezer.
Yes. Did you try that?
I didn't. Oh. No, I didn't care if the mohair was ripped because I wasn't going to read it anyway. It was just little bits and pieces. So anyway, I started this yesterday. The reason why I frogged that Afghan because it was too wide. So then I was going to be doing the width was going to become the length. It was like the length of a queen size bed or more. It was enormous, and it was 2 weights of fingering yarn. It was crocheted at a dense gauge, so it was taking tons of yarn because crochet takes more yarn anyway. There's no way I was ever going to have enough yarn, even with all the yarn I have. And then it was dense and heavy already, and I only had about, I don't know, maybe a foot of it done, and it was so heavy, right. And I'm never going to finish this.
Right.
Started. So this is my little baby start of so these are the short rows.
Oh, look at that. Oh, that's pretty.
So I'm using the green that was in that blanket. That's my whole point in this sweater. So this is the stockinette side, and this sweater is designed to be reversible so you could wear it either side.
Right.
And right now I'm just on the first color, which this is the first color. I won this yarn from Little Skein and the Big Wool, and it's the Fog colorway.
Okay.
And then my mohair that I'm going to hold throughout is by Filco Lana Tilia mohair in this green color, and this color is 327. This is a Danish yarn. And it's pretty soft, and I just liked the color.
That is pretty.
So my next color is this.
Oh, pretty.
Then,
so you're going to hold that mohair throughout the entire sweater.
Yeah.
And is that how the pattern goes? Is that they say hold one color throughout, or?
Yeah. I mean, you can
Okay.
do what you want. And so basically I mean, I have some other scraps I'm going to weave in through here. I just didn't bring them in here.
Right,
But
right.
so right now this is 2 strands of this fingering weight yarn and 1 strand of mohair. I'm going to drop one of these strands,
Oh.
strand here, and continue with the same mohair.
Oh, neat.
And then I've got this, then I've got this,
That's
then
awesome.
I've got this.
Wow.
So it'll be fun. I think
That
it's
will
going to
be
be
fun.
a really fun project because I'll want to see what the next part looks like. And I've got some other little bits and pieces, like I said, that I'm going to work in. But yeah, so I think it'll be really fun. And I'm not stressed about like matching the colors or anything. I have a lot of green yarn because it's one of my favorite colors, and I have a lot of teal yarn. So I put a couple different fades together, like one with like more teal.
Uh-huh.
And then one with this more green, but I ended up going with the more green. I have a couple teal sweaters, and so I thought, what the heck?
That's pretty.
Yeah,
No,
so this is going to be a lot of fun. You know, more fun than working on an almost black sweater.
Yeah, that's true.
So I just wanted fun.
And that's the kind of knitting that I'm into these days, is you're not like having to, okay, wait, I got to count how many stitches, and oh, wait, oh, I got a cable. Oh, wait. It's like the most you're doing is adding or subtracting a yarn. And if you add or subtract it at the wrong time, it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah, I wanted, I was kind of like, oh, you have to get back to this whip. You have to get back to this whip. And I thought, no, I'm the boss of my knitting. I don't want to do
and if we're not the boss of our knitting, what are we the boss of?
Exactly. Only the boss of. I'm the boss of my knitting, and I'm not going to do it right now. So, yeah. And then I have a sock project I started yesterday too, because you can't start too many projects in one day.
Uh-oh.
There's nothing really to see except that I got the toes done almost. So how I always do my socks, if I'm doing them 2 at a time, is I'll do the 2 toes separately, and then I put them on one needle.
Oh,
I don't
yes.
do it, but I just prefer to do the toes or the cuff separately, get through that part, and then put them together. So
I'm the same way, going the other way though. I started the cuff, and I
yeah, if I do the cuff, I do it that way.
Yeah.
So this is the yarn, and I'll show you the pattern. So the yarn's interesting. The yarn is wool and nettle.
Oh.
So it's no nylon, and it's nettle sock yarn, and it gets the strength from the nettle. This is also Danish yarn.
I don't know why, but nettle does not sound comfortable.
Danish, Italy. It's actually really
soft.
It's not, I wouldn't probably want to wear it. Well, I could wear it around my neck. It's not very scratchy, but it's not as soft as like superwash. But you can see that the nettle doesn't pick up all the color, so it makes it kind of heathered looking, which is cool. And this is the Onion is the brand.
Okay.
And nettle sock yarn, strength from the nettles. Sock yarn in nature fibers, 70% wool and 30% nettle. So I wanted to see what it was like to, wear no nylon socks. And so I'm going to knit this pattern from the 52 weeks of sock book. And I think it's the very first pattern in there by Marceline Smith. It's pattern number 1 called Intersections. And Marceline Smith is also known as Hay Brownberry.
Oh, pretty.
Yeah. I mean, it's cable, but it's not difficult.
Yeah, no, it reminds me of the shawl I made that I never wore.
Once I get going, it'll be simple. I don't think I would buy this. I don't know that I will knit very many socks from this book. I don't like the way the book is organized, but anyway, I also like pretty simple socks for the most. Like, I don't want lacy socks, I don't think.
Right.
But anyway, so
I'm tempted to buy the Strange Brew book.
Oh yeah, that seems like a cool book. I mean,
well, and I'm not finding any. So that's my segue. Although I do have one other project that's kind of in the works, but I'm going to segue. So I want to do another color work. And so for Christmas, I told Warren to have the girls, so Magpie was having a sale on their DK Swanky Sock. And you know how much I love their DK Swanky Sock. I just
we forgot to say what we're drinking.
Oh,
because talk about that. It's like it was noon when we started, so I'm drinking LaCroix or LaCroix.
Yeah, and I'm drinking the faux LaCroix.
Yeah. Yeah. So
yeah, it's midday, people. I gotta be able to still do stuff. So anyway, so I told him I was looking at it and looking at it. I was like, you know what? I want to do a color work sweater. So, and I'm having a hard time picking the colors, and my girls are really good with colors, and I thought they'd have fun picking out colors. So I told them, I was like, I need 6 skeins of the base, and then I need 1 skein of each of 3 different colors. I should have written it down. So he gave me 6 skeins of this, which is, what is this? It's called Tacital, Tactical. Tactical. I can't read. Is it tactical?
I don't know. Tactical or tactile?
I want to see the
tactical. Yeah.
Tactical. Okay, I can't read. So anyway, so
isn't
that gorgeous? I mean, their yarn. It's 80% merino, but it's SW merino. What does that mean?
Superwash.
Okay, yeah, hello. 10%, I'm not even drinking. 10% cashmere, 10% nylon. And I love their yarn. It does pill a little bit, but not awful. So that's the base. And I was kind of surprised because Lucy had a heavy hand in this. I thought she would have gone with something a little bit more zippy. But I love the gold, which is called, let's see if I can this one, Spicy Beaver. I love those ladies at Magpie. And then the cream, which is Stag Bunny. So I think I'm going to need your help in picking out another color. I think I need like a very high contrast or a black or something. So then I started messing around because, I have this left over from another pattern. I've got exactly 1 skein left over from another sweater for my Joji Locatelli V-neck something. And then I still have this that I bought last year at Stitches. So I want to make a color work. You're gonna have to come over and sit in my backyard with me and help me figure out. So this is the one that I've got the most of. So that has to be the base. I love this. I mean, I love all of them. They're all gorgeous. I don't think this is gonna go.
Yeah, somehow it seems to cool.
Yeah, which is kind of a bummer because I have exactly 1 skein left. So I'm gonna toss that. If I knit something and I have enough left over, that could potentially work.
Oh, yeah,
wouldn't that be so pretty?
Yeah, that's gorgeous.
I should actually call them and see if they have a skein. I doubt it because it's from last year's Stitches, but I should probably call them and see. And then I saw some patterns that have like this whole like white field with all different colors in them. And so I don't know. So I might have to order like an extra skein of this and then maybe a skein of that. I don't know. Anyway. Wait, say that again.
Pick the pattern first.
Yeah, that would be helpful. Which is why then I started looking at Strange Brew and thinking, you know what, it might be better for me to just buy that book. And so it
seems like a really cool book.
It does. Because I guess they kind of walk you through if you want to do your own pattern. So anyway, yeah. So I mean, I'm thrilled with the colors they picked. I just need 1 more, and that might have to be it. So we'll see.
I think that's a great one. I mean, a dark like gray would be good, but not the gray that you have. Somehow that's not the right.
Yeah, this is like a bluish. It's called something mermaid. I don't know. Siren Song. This is like, it's a very cool color. You're right. It would need to be like a la, 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 la. Hang on.
Yeah, that
like
that
a
works.
dark gray.
Or if you wanted to do something more adventurous, let me think about that.
I could do like an acidy. No, never mind, because it'll conflict with that. I was thinking like a yellowish almost.
Yeah, mustard.
I don't know, but I do.
I don't.
You know what other yarn I really want to try? Is Yama.
That? I don't know that
it's
yarn.
YAMA. I've seen it a lot. A lot of people are knitting fingering weight colorwork sweaters with it, and they've got a lot of earthy tones to it. So I might just have to splurge and buy that at some point. So we'll see. So anyway, so that was a Christmas present. So that I love this magpie yarn. I am so happy to have something. I still haven't figured out what I'm gonna knit. It's got to be a pullover because it's so soft on my skin. Has to be a pullover. So I haven't figured out what I'm gonna knit with this reddish color, which is called Red Wine. But I love their yarn. If you need something soft and it's got a nice drape to it, but it also has a nice structure, love it. Love it, love it, love it. Anyway, okay. You next.
I that was everything for me. That's all I have. That's all I'm knitting.
Okay. I still have 2 more things.
Go.
Okay. All right. So my boss, Heather, who runs the knitting store, or not knitting store, dance store. Okay, so I spend half my life in knitting and the other half of my life in dancing. Not me dancing, the kids dancing. She bought me this really cool basket / bag. Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
And let's see, that's
wow.
So that's like a nice project bag to kind of have at home, to use at home. And inside she put, inside she put 2 skeins of this Paca Cinta alpaca yarn company, hand dyed, super bulky. It's 100% alpaca and it's really soft. And it's like, it's
bulky. Oh yeah, I guess it is.
Yeah.
It doesn't in this game.
Pretty thick. It's like it's flat. It's like a ribbon.
Oh, I see it now.
So I looked it up on Ravelry and everybody used this to weave into another pattern. Like there wasn't anybody that knit anything out of it. So I'm gonna have to experiment. She was really sweet because I had actually come in that day wearing a sweater and we were talking about it and I'd given her socks and she asked me, so how many skeins does it take? She thought that 2 skeins of this would make me a sweater. I was like, I said, don't worry, I'll find something to knit out of it. So I don't know, I'm going to have to experiment. It's not, it's a little bit more color than I'm used to knitting with in a skein, but I don't know, maybe a shawl or something or a scarf. So that was really sweet of her, really sweet of her. So and then the other thing, last but not least, my girlfriend Christine, when she came out, we went down to SoCal to see Lucy and they were having a yarn crawl and she fell in love with this. And it has a pattern on the inside that is like a scarf that has like a slit in the middle so that you tuck one into the other and it kind of keeps you warm around the neck. I feel bad because I forgot I had this. And so I'm committed to making this and finishing it in the next month. She'll probably get it just in time for it to start getting warm in South Carolina. But you know, it is what it is. Or is it North Carolina? No, it's North Carolina. But anyway. So yeah.
Gonna go quickly. That'll be a quick knit.
Yeah, I figure. I mean, it's the pattern says on a size 10, I think, and I'm not gonna swatch. I'm just gonna, it'll work. It'll be fine. So anyway, so that's that. What do you have for dream knitting?
Well, my son asked me to knit him a sweater.
Oh.
And he wants it exactly like a sweater he had with him when he was here.
Well, he's not picky, so he'll be fine.
And he wants it to fit exactly like that sweater. And I said, well, where did you get that sweater? And he said, I got it at Uniqlo.
Uniqlo, yes.
Uniqlo. I got it at Uniqlo. I really like their clothes. I go online and ordered him another one. I'm gonna order you one because
your clothes aren't expensive either.
No, and I did it's cashmere, but I did measure, but not expensive cashmere, but still I measured the sweater and we'll see. I mean, I'll eventually knit him a sweater, but both he and my husband want sweaters and I think they're going to want fingering weight sweaters. And Gary wants his neck and Andrew wants his crew neck. And they don't want it raglan, they want it set in. So they don't really want it dropped. So you know how to find a basic pattern that is not for men, that is not raglan, or you know, I'll have to knit it in pieces.
You know what though? There's a few online that I've actually found. And actually the Neve, I believe, I mean for women, not for men, but Isabel Kramer has a sweater that's not raglan, that's top down, and it's in one piece.
Yeah, with that method or one of those other methods.
Yeah,
it's possible. I just don't find men's.
Yeah, not
that are plain. I mean, Gary wants plain V-neck, but anyway, I don't feel like knitting for anybody else right now, so that's have to wait. And then he chose some yarn when my son chose some yarn for socks, and he had given me the yarn and he really likes it. So he said, I laid out a bunch of different yarns and said any of these, and he chose the one he had given me, which
perfect.
Not my favorite. So yeah. So that'll be perfect. He said, I don't care what you do for the heels and toes and all of that. But again, I don't want to knit for anybody. And then I bought yarn in the summertime. I attended the Vogue virtual live, virtual event, Vogue Knitting Live virtual, which I really enjoyed actually. It was really cool.
You liked it.
Yeah. And so I bought some yarn. It's lace weight yarn, but you hold it double for a particular shawl, to make a shawl. And I did knit a shawl in like November, and I've worn that a few times, called Waterline. Yeah, I just want to knit some of the yarn that I have, some of the sweater quantities that I have. And I mean, pretty soon I'll be knitting summer sweaters again because the weather's so warm.
I'm giving up on summer sweaters because I don't know. That last one left me with a bad taste in my mouth. So I don't know. I might
summer sweaters and I like them.
You know what? I might try the super simple summer sweater. I might try that one because that looks like fun, and I'll get that. Remember we were talking about the Cascade? I think it was. What were we talking about? Baroka
cotton. I would definitely knit another one of those.
We talked about doing that together. We should do that together. Okay, so let's say that we will pick out our yarn, and what should we do? Start by beginning of March, end of March?
It doesn't matter to me. Either one.
Make a decision.
I mean, what goes with your current, you're just about to start a sweater, right?
Yeah, but
so it's January, March 1. March.
Right. So let's say March. Let's just say for right now, we're going to pick out and have yarn by March, and in our next episode, we'll set a date. How's that? So that anybody that wants to join us and do the same thing.
Yeah.
And so we'll pick out yarn, and by our next episode, which will hopefully be in February, we'll have a date for when we're going to start the Super Simple Summer, and we will knit it all together.
Yeah, it'll be fun. It's a fun knit. Easy.
Yes. Yeah. So I think that, yes, because I remember looking at those colors and being like, ooh.
I think it's easy to make it short sleeved if somebody wanted short sleeves. It's an easy first sweat project. I mean, it has short sleeves, but you know, it's doable.
So yeah, let's do that. Let's do that. And then that way, if anybody runs into a problem, we can help.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
Rose. Yes.
Yeah.
And then we can all show.
Almost my favorite sweater. I was debating between that one and the one I chose. If you would have asked me 2 months ago, I would have chosen the other one because, you know, this I wear when it's cold. The other one I would wear when it's warmer. So
okay, so yeah, all right, you've sold me. I'll do another summer sweater. You're just gonna have to help me decide on the colors because
I know
what's the name? What's the name of the place? Woolen Company?
Woolen Company, yeah.
Woolen Company has an amazing collection of that Barocco. What is it? What cotton is it?
Modern cotton.
Modern cotton, because it's not 100% cotton.
No.
They have a great selection. So check out the colors if anybody wants to join us.
Yeah, it was hard for me to choose the colors. I remember I almost bought some and I was like, should I get this or this or this or this? Went back and forth.
It's like, you know, I was thinking blue and cream, or do I want to do navy blue and white since my husband's, you know, the whole navy thing. Yeah. So anyway.
Well, then, you know, March, I generally am feeling springier colors at that point.
Yes. Like pink, your peach. Yeah. So anyway, so all right. Everybody that wants to join us, that's the plan. And then we are tied in to doing at least 2 more episodes and doing it in a timely fashion. One in March and one in February and one in March.
Yeah. And spur me on to get my projects done.
Right. Exactly. Okay. Yay. Good. And maybe the weather will be nice and we can do a podcast from the backyard.
It has been. I mean, here.
Bad.
Yeah, it's really nice. I think for the next week, it's supposed to be in the 70s.
Although I'm praying for rain.
Yeah.
So anyway. All right.
Well, okay. Take it easy. Yeah, nothing for me.
Oh gosh, an hour 24.
Okay, well.
Not too bad.
No, not too bad for all the catching up we have to do.
Yeah. So, all right.
Hey, well, I'm off to Target. Super exciting. I have real clothes on. I have makeup on. That doesn't always happen.
I know, my makeup, it's been like, oh, lipstick.
Oh, lipstick never, because it just gets on the inside of the mask, right?
It's true. So yes, I mean, I put lipstick on today. So no.
Yeah.
So
anyway, all right. We'll take it easy.
You too. Bye. Bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone. Happy knitting.
Yes.